much, Ma'am Teen and Sir Brian. Just a sec. Anyway, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for giving your time tonight. And anyway, thank you for this opportunity, first and foremost. So I just want to ask first, do we have any ESL teachers here other than Ma'am Teen? You can just type one if the answer is yes. So I guess none. So it's just Mom Teen. Any aspirant ESL teacher, or just if you're like kind of curious if you wanna join ESL teaching. Wala po? Okay. All right. So anyway, just feel free to talk po anyway. So all right. So let me start. So yesterday we had what an ESL teaching is, the background, the requirements, like technicalities and others, right? So I will just continue what Mom Teen has started. I will just continue on skills and qualities of a successful freelance ESL teacher and the creating engaging lesson plans and curriculum. So before I start with my presentation, let me show you something. Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on a sec. Okay, wait, please. Okay, can you guys see my computer screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much, Brian. Okay, let me have the presentation here. All right. So anyway, welcome to the second part of ESL Introduction to Freelancing ESL Teaching. So like what I mentioned last night, ESL stands for English as a Second Language. Teaching, that means you're required to teach English to non-native English speakers. So there are also other names for ESL. Some are called TEFL teachers. Also in Japan, they are called ALT or Assistant Language Teacher. I don't know if EFL also, teaching English as a foreign language. So, but all of these are just, teaching English. So, funny thing is, I just heard people like, if you're good in speaking English, then you could be an English teacher. So, totoo nga ba 'yon? Like kapag ka magaling ka bang mag-English, pwede na sa ESL teacher? Tingin niyo po, basta ba nakakapag-English, pwede na sa teacher? Pwede na kaya?
Hindi po.
Hindi po. Kasi pagka nagsasabi, "Naghahanap ka ng work," "Oh, mag-ESL ka." So, well, good thing because I feel like a lot of people think ESL teaching is easy. So sa akin positive 'yon kasi ayoko naman isipin nila na mahirap siya. And so but what other people really think of an ESL teacher? So this is just my experience, okay? So let me show you. So what our friends think we do. So way back in 2008 when I started teaching and then I told my friends, ESL teacher ako. And they said, "What? Ano 'yun?" Parang bago kasi po no'n 2008. And then I would tell them, "Kausap ko Koreans." "How?" And I would say, online." And this is what they thought. "Oh, so magkaka-boyfriend ka na Korean." So, yun yung thoughts ng friends ko. Like chat-chat lang kami, voice call, tapos bola-bolahan. That was their first thoughts of ESL teacher. And then I remembered one of my friends called ESL teaching like an online prostitution. But that's just such a bad thoughts about that. But funny thing is because they thought it's an easy job and you just chat and you just smile and nakikipag-chit-chatan ka lang. So, and then what our students' parents think we do. So, syempre, yung usual students, usual na nagsastudy ng ESL are kids. I think majority of the population of ESL students are children because they need English at school. So this is what the parents think what we do. Like same in the classroom. Magti-teach ka ng grammar, papractice mo yung pronunciation ng bata. You have a lot of vocabulary words in mind. Tapos, ikaw yung mag-hone ng English nila from the kids up to, 2 to 3 years when they get older. Yun yung idea ng parents. So, the expectations quite higher than the other people. Now, what do my neighbors think I do? Or maybe for other ESL teachers too? Eto, relaxed. So my neighbors, when I moved to home-based job teaching, my neighbors thought, oh, wala siyang work, tambay. And then my mom thought like, oh, your job is too easy. Tawa ka ng tawa sa harap ng computer. You're like a crazy person. Kumakanta, sumasayaw. So, ang lakas ng boses ko naririnig minsan ng kapitbahay nung hindi pa ako closed door. So, my neighbors thought like, and then when my mom said, "Oh, my daughter, she has master's degree, college graduate 'yon." And then my neighbors were too surprised. Ah, talaga? Kasi nakapambahay ako, 'di ba? Pagka nagtuturo. So, upper lang naka-blouse. So, my neighbors thought, tambay lang ako sa bahay. So, but it's okay. I didn't correct them anyways, their thoughts. So, but this is what we think as an ESL teacher. This is what we do. It's gonna be. Hold on. Let me share the sound. Just a sec, please. All right, here. So this is what my neighbors would think of me. Playing music, naglalaro, kumakanta. And this is what I think my job is. Hold on a sec.
I am going. Teacher V, I am going to quit English classes.
But Lizzie, why? You're making such progress under my teaching.
No, my English is not spoken well.
But Lizzie, can't you see? The opportunities learning English opens. To learn, to share, to understand, to love. The friendships you can cherish. The lengths you can go to, the heights you can reach.
Teacher V, you're right. I understood all of you said. I can't give up. And I love English. Look, this is my offer as an international student from Harvard. Oh, and also look, my arm is healed.
Wait, it was broken?
Okay, so what do I think of my job as an ESL teacher? Para akong superhero, assistant. Kasi most of the students would study with you kasi may goal sila. Like, teacher, kailangan ko makapasa ng TOEIC. From 100, gusto ko 600 agad. Ganon. Or, may mga students, kailangan ko makapasa sa international school, teacher. I-prepare mo ko for the interview. Some corporate students, pag business ang ituturo mo, sabihin ng students, may job interview ako, may promotion interview ako, kailangan ko makapasa doon. So I thought of my job as a hero rather, because I would help them pass. Pag nakapasa yung student, di ang galing ko. Feeling ko sa akin lahat ng credits kasi kami yung nag-practice. But of course, the student the credits should go to the students because they worked hard on that. And pag magi-stop na sila, parang you feel connected already with the student, especially pag private student mo. So you feel like pag nag-stop sila, parang nakakasad. Pero as an ESL teacher, private teacher, or like a freelance teacher, I've learned how to disconnect my emotions. Ganun talaga. People come and go. Same with ESL teaching. Hindi mo pwedeng habang buhay student mo yung student mo. But the good thing is, they will always remember you. That's one thing I'm sure of. Especially pag ikaw yung nagbigay ng English name nila. Like Koreans, for instance. Ang Koreans may English names sila kasi mahirap i-pronounce yung names nila. Pag ikaw yung nagbigay ng English names, pag first time nilang mag-aral ng English, they will use that English name for their whole life. Usually. So imagine that kind of achievement. Para sa akin, importante. I don't know with other people, but sa akin, it's priceless. And then when people ask them, how did you get your English name? Oh, Divine gave that. My English Filipino teacher gave me this English name. It's more than the salary that I get from them, usually. That's just my, my thoughts about that. So, yun yung thoughts ko as an ESL teacher. Para akong superhero. Pero, the last one is, sorry. Wait, let me share another slide, another video. Hold on. Here. But what do we actually do? So here, wait a sec. Sorry. So this is not maybe applicable for some ESL teachers or even for my experience. Hold on. There should be another one. Okay, here. Here. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that. This is what an ESL teacher normally does in the class. Here.
The kids deserve more.
One eternity later.
Hello, students! Hello to Savannah, Jenny, and Joel! Hello! Hello to Robin and Jay! Hello, students! It's just me, Teacher V! Hello!
Okay, just to cut it short po. So, what an ESL teacher does in the class, so ganon, hyper. Pagbukas mo ng, um, um, pagbukas mo ng cam, smile, all smile ka na kagad. Like, hello, good evening, good morning. So, pag kunwari, hi, Mr. Kim, how are you today? Yung energy, mas mataas sa normal. Pero pag business class, usually formal kayo. Like, hi, good morning, good evening, how are you today? Ganun siya. Pero, young learners is the biggest market in ESL. So just to give you an idea, it's the biggest market. If you want to be successful as an ESL freelance teacher, you have to be good with kids. So you could sustain the number of students and the income that you want to have. Uh, Hold on. Okay. So yun yung ginagawa ng ESL teacher, and then we make big gestures, hand movements, but it doesn't mean you have to do that all the time. It depends to the students, which I would explain later. So question po, let me just uh, answer some questions. Will it require TOEFL? That would be TEFL po, teacher, TEFL certification. Ang TOEFL po is for TOEIC, test of English for foreign language learners. Kinukuha po siya ng mga students kung gusto nila mag-aral abroad. TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Depende po sa applyan ninyo, like what we said. Every company has every company has its own rather requirements. Lucky if you can find a company that is on a mass hiring, because they would only require your audio introduction. So it all depends po. Okay. Ma'am Aina said minimum requirements as an ESL teacher should be proficient in English language, both in oral and written communication. Great point po, Ma'am Aina. Thank you so much for that, which I will explain to later. Okay, hold on. All right. And okay. So, sino po sa atin ang gusto na nagtatrabaho pero singer din? Meron po ba nun? Or dancer din? Singer, dancer while doing your work. Meron po ba? Or at least actress. Or, nag-emote-emote habang nagtatrabaho. Sino pong may gusto nun? Type nyo lang po 1 kung gusto nyo po ng ganong klase ng work. Wala po? Wala pong gustong kumanta habang nagwo-work? Kahit po sintonado. Actually, hindi po kailangang nasa tono. Basta marunong ka lang ng ABC, first requirement, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, cool na po yun. Patok na po yun. Sino po sa atin ang gusto ng temporarily but quickly nakakalimutan ng problema habang nagwo-work? Yung parang kang papasok sa ibang dimension. Meron po ba nun sa inyo? Ayun si Ma'am Tin. Parang stress na siya sa school yata. Okay, why am I asking that? Kasi pag ESL teacher ka po, based in my experience po, una, pag kids, required kumanta, medyo po. Um, kailangan makalimutan ng problema, yes po. Actually, hindi mo naman kailangan kalimutan. Medyo mag-iiba lang yung mindset mo pag nasa class ka po. So para sa akin, mas good yun, positive, na disconnect ka po sa problem. Yun po yung isa sa mga nakita kong or a few of the advantages of an ESL teacher. Okay, so next po, let's go to the main topics, of course. Hold a sec. Okay, so requirements or let's say qualities ng ESL teachers, of course. So skills and qualities of, we're talking of a successful freelance ESL teacher. Let me just clear the point between ESL teacher and a successful freelance ESL teacher. I think being an ESL teacher is a lot easier po compared to a successful freelance ESL teacher. So, i-clarify ko lang po yun, magkaiba po yun, okay? Pag ESL teacher ka, that means it could be online or face-to-face. Pupunta ka sa academy, tapos mamimit mo yung mga students. Face-to-face po yun. Pag ESL teacher ka ng under ng company will provide textbooks, 100%. Hindi mo kailangan mag-design ng sarili mong textbooks or lesson plan. While if you are a freelance teacher, you are on your own. Everything is under your control. Yun po yung pinagkaibahan nila. Or you're a freelance but you work with different companies. Pero hindi po yun ang concept natin ng freelance. Ang freelance is ikaw mismo, directly you get the payment from your students. So yun po yung idea natin ng freelance. Freelancer, you can go with any students you want. You can teach anytime that is convenient for you. When we say successful ES freelancer, ibang-iba rin po yun because it would take a lot of time to be successful. So may kanya-kanya po tayong definition ng success. I don't know what your definition of success is. Like what I told you earlier, if my students remembered me by saying, Divine gave me my English name, and like 10 years, 15 years passed, they could still remember my name and tell other people I was their English teacher. Successful po sa akin yun. So it depends. While others may see success in a figure, like how much you earn now from before. So depende po. So anyway, I won't explain that further. So first, of course, we need teaching skills. Because to be a teacher, you have the skills. Same with any other jobs po. So we have language proficiency, the cultural competence, and then the adaptability, patience, communication skills, creativity, and feedback and assessment. So let me explain each point. So like Ma'am Aina said earlier, language proficiency. Proficiency in English, very basic requirement, fundamental. A strong command of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation is essential. So my advantage is I graduated AB English, major in instructional arts. So advantage na po yun. Kasi we're exposed to English language and that's what I studied for. How to teach English to foreign students. Now, maybe others would think, paano yun, nursing ako? Paano yun, I'm not a college graduate. Can I be an ESL teacher? Yes. ESL teacher, yes, you can be an ESL teacher as long as you are comfortable using the English language, as long as you know the structure of the English language. You can speak, you can ask questions, you're confident with your it's like you're comfortable with your own skin. You're comfortable the way you pronounce words. You're sure that you're saying the right thing, the right word, the pronunciation. Then you can be an English and as an ESL teacher, whether it's online or offline po. Now, next to that, this would be in random order. I don't know which one would be the most important, but let's try to figure that out later. But next would be cultural competence. So we have to, if you want to be a successful English teacher online or ESL teacher, you have to understand and appreciate cultural differences. So you could create cultural or culturally inclusive learning environment. The students are usually foreigners, non-native English speakers. So we have to understand their culture, their background. Like magkakaiba po yun. Baka you might think like lahat naman students pareho lang. Basta lahat sila hindi magaling sa English, mas magaling ako. No, it's not like that. So Koreans are very particular with the pronunciation. Once they hear you speaking words inappropriately, they will not come back to your class. That is just my observation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Japanese, they are very particular with the teacher's politeness and kindness. But it depends to the type of students. If the teacher is so kind, so polite, Japanese appreciate that so much. Why with Chinese also medyo they're quite very particular with the pronunciation. Chinese. With the European, I've handled Turkish and Israeli people. They want someone who would give them more chances of speaking and giving on the spot corrections. But again, it depends pa rin sa preferences ng student. But above all, Japanese, Chinese, Koreans, they are still conservative. There are some questions you cannot ask because they would find that those questions inappropriate and rude. Israelis and Western people, they don't mind. So not unless you would ask about sensitive topic like about the war in Israel, but I think they are still okay with those kind of topics. Yeah, that's right po, Ma'am Aina. Very conservative Koreans. So you have also, part of cultural competence is you choose a background appropriate to their cultural background. What I meant is, good thing we have Zoom virtual background na. Before, ang ginagawa ko, nakakortina pa po ako para hindi makita yung tumatawid sa likod. Sensitive sila sa ganon. Tapos pag nakikita nila yung gamit mo, medyo naiirita sila. And then one thing I remembered, pag Korean, mahigpit pagdating sa movements. Hindi ka pwedeng yuyuko or kunwari may nahulog pupulutin mo, medyo nadidistract sila. Same with the Japanese, if they think you're not focused to them, your eyes are not really like concentrating to their face on the video, medyo sensitive din sila doon. So, kahit online siya, nararamdaman nila tayo if we are really concentrating to them. So, yun lang yung sa cultural. So, pati yung dress natin. Yeah, Koreans, Japanese, you don't ask their age, especially women. Pati po Japanese, rude yun sa kanila pag tinanong mo yung age. Also, Japanese, they don't want to be asked if they're married. That's rude for them or kung may boyfriend. Ayaw nila ng personal questions pag Japanese. Kasi most of my clients are Japanese po. So, ayaw din nilang tatanungin nyo, kunwari, narinig nyo, the woman has no child, you would ask, why you don't have a child? No, no, no po yun. Hindi na babalik ang student nyo, if ever. So, usually pag first meeting, mas gusto nila nakafocus sa lesson. So anyway, yun po muna sa cultural. And then adaptability. So adjusting teaching methods to suit the needs and learning styles of individual students. So same with the classroom teachers. Kung may classroom teachers po tayo, naniniwala po tayo sa individualism, multiple intelligence, and different personalities. So kay student A, pwedeng hindi pwede kay student B. Kahit sabihin niyo pareho lang naman silang 9 years old. Una-una magkaiba po sila ng skills in delivering the language. Second is baka magkaiba sila ng interest. And most importantly, magkaiba po sila ng personalities. So, yun po. So you have to be flexible in handling different types of learners if you want to be a successful freelance teacher. And then patience. Yeah, sure. Patience is crucial, especially when working with learners who may struggle with language acquisition. I don't know if you feel the same way. Sino pong may mga children sa atin na tinuturuan sa bahay? Meron po ba tayong mga anak na tinuturuan natin sa homework? Ayan, si Ma'am Tin, meron. Meron pa po tayo yung mga may tinuturuang bata sa bahay. Ito lang po observation ko, pati si Ma'am Mitch. Pagka kapamangkin ko, usually, before I remembered, pag tinuturuan ko, ang bagal maka-pick up. Ang sarap kutusan, di po ba? Nakakainis. Ang bagal ma-pick up yung tinuturo nyo. Gusto mong kutusan. Pero sa ESL po, hindi ko rin po alam kung bakit, pero napaka-pasensyosa ko po. Sobra. So, pagka hindi masabi ng estudyante, hinihimay-himay po namin yun isa-isa. Kunwari, did you, what food did you eat for breakfast? Si student dahil beginner, hindi niya masabi na ano lang pala, bread lang pala. So, ngayon, mag-initiate ka. Pwede ka magpakita ng pictures ng mga food for breakfast. Tapos, tsaka niya ipo-point. Tapos, sa pronunciation, kunwari, sinabi bread, pero siya pa rin bed ng bed. So, uulitin niyo po yun, bread. Ganon. Tapos, nakasmile ka pa rin po. So, you'd say, Mr. Kim, you should say bread. So, ulitin ng estudyante, bed. Again, bread. Pero pag pamangkin mo yun, di ba, kutos kagad. Ano ba? Sabi ko sa'yo, bread. So, ganun po. So, patience is very important in ESL teaching. At saka sa facial expressions, nakikita rin po ng student kung medyo napipikon po kayo. Yeah, show pictures po, Ma'am Tin. Ganon. Para mas mabilis. Or, quickest way, translation. Since meron naman po tayong Google Translator. Pag sa tingin nyo, para kayong manghuhulay, parang guessing game. Did you eat bread? So, papakita mo yung translation. This one, did you eat? So, sometimes po, pag beginner, nagiging barok na rin po yung English actually. Medyo nakakahawa sila. Parang, just one of my experiences, fun experience, kunwari sabi ko, did you eat bread? So, hindi maintindihan ng beginner yung did you eat? Alam lang niya bread. So, bread, you ate. Did you? So, parang parang mali yung English ko. And then quickly, babaguhin niyo po yun. Tapos sasabihin niyo sa estudyante, ito yung tamang question, did you eat bread? Pag 5 minutes mo late, opo. Actually, kahit wala ng 5 minutes, Ma'am Tin, 1 minute kasi sayang yung oras. Translate niyo na po. So, minsan nagiging barok na rin siya pagka nagsasalita yung teacher. Pero i-correct niyo po agad yun. So, yun lang po. At saka paulit-ulit pag beginner. Now, kapag advanced po, kailangan you're patient in listening. Pag advanced kasi, titingnan din nila kung nakikinig ka. So, ang mangyayari, kailangan mo mabilis din mag-type, pasensyoso ka sa pakikinig. Pag matagal silang sumagot sa question mo, you cannot force them to give the answer right away. Ang job po ng ESL teacher is to help them express, not to put pressure on them. So, yun po. And then, next is communication skills, of course. So, clear and effective communication, both in explaining concepts and providing constructive feedback. Pinakamalaga po dyan is yung you can connect easily to the student. Malinaw yung instructions. Kasi kahit sa companies po, ang textbook may instructions. Pag nalito yung estudyante, expect the complaints right after your class. Sabihin nila hindi marunong yung teacher magbigay na instructions. And then feedback. Feedback, students, depende po sa student, pero students are always looking for feedback, yung correction po sa chat box. Kailangan nila yon. May ibang students talagang gusto nila pinapractice. other students, ayaw nilang na i-interrupt sila sa pagsasalita. So, type ka lang ng type ng type. Bawian mo na lang sa written report. So sa akin, sa personal students ko, meron din po akong written report kasi part ko po yun ng marketing ko para makita nilang masipag akong tao. So, i-recommend pa rin nila ako sa mga kakilala nila. Ganun po yan. And then creativity. So, especially if you have young learners, so developing engaging and interactive lessons to keep students motivated and interested. One of the biggest challenges of ESL freelance teaching is yung maintaining yung students. Most of my students, believe it or not, they've been with me for more than 2 years. Hindi ko rin alam kung bakit. So, basta 2 years na or meron akong student, I think 3 years na yata. Yung Japanese students ko, though under siya ng company, I think 10 years. So regular kaming nag-uusap. Weekly yon, every Saturday, Sunday. Kung hindi 10 years, 7 years. So paano sila nag stay? Because you have to create different topics for them to discuss with you. Okay? We're more of, before, nung nagsisimula ako, I was waiting for my student to give me something. Like a topic that I could expound o yung palalawakin kong each topic. Mali pala yun. Ako pala dapat yung magbigay sa student ko. Hindi sila yung nagbibigay. Para mas mapalawig namin or mas mapahaba yung conversation. Tapos, mas magiging interested sila pag nakikita nilang interested ka sa kanila. Mas mahirap sa bata kung hindi ka mahilig sa bata at kung hindi ka creative. Kasi ang bata, well, typically kahit naman Pinoy, 2 minutes lang ang attention nila, wala na, ayaw na nila sa'yo. So, pag may pinakita kang interesting, kaya yung sa 5-1 talk, kung meron pong familiar sa 5-1 talk, ang ginagamit po nila, tinatawag po yung TPR, Total Physical Response. More of physical. Like, let's stand up. You shake your body like that. Kasi, dapat creative ka. Required po yun sa 5-1 talk. Pagka nag-demo kayo, hindi kayo ganun, hindi kayo makakapasa, I think. Not unless under kayo ng agency, Filipino agency. Madali na lang pakiusapan. Tapos meron silang mga visual aids. Tapos yung background, usually, pag pambata po, ang background yun, may mga cartoon, something like that. So sa akin naman, pag bata, ang ginagawa ko, nagpapakita ko ng toys, which is typical. Tapos, yun nga, kaya I ask you kung gusto niyo maging actor or actress. So, minsan si Minnie Mouse ako, gano'n. Palit ng palit yung boses. Hello! Did you see my friend? Something like that. Tapos, magbibigay ako ng names ng toys, yung mga gano'n. Gusto yun ng mga bata. Tingin nila sa'yo playmate, pero virtual kayo. So, yun. Same with the adults. Gusto nila laging challenging conversations. And then, assessment and feedback. So, kailangan nyo rin to because you have to assess students. Kasi nag-start kayo with the goal. Dapat makita ng student, may pinuntahan ba yung pera ko? May nangyari? So, ngayon, magpapasa kayo. You can discuss it with your students whether it's monthly or usually every 3 months. Pag bata, usually ang parents nagre-require ng feedback po. Okay? So anyway, let me move a little faster. Okay, technical skills. So this is required as a freelance ESL teacher. Dapat you're familiar with online teaching tools. Zoom, ClassIn, Skype, what else? For Koreans, they use KakaoTalk. For some Westerns, like a European, I think Israel and Turkish, they're using WhatsApp. So dapat meron po kayong account nun. And then Zalo for Vietnamese, I think. And then ClassIn, but usually Zoom ang ginagamit. Ngayon, meron na silang ClassIn, meron ng VOOV sa Chinese. And then, you have to have digital literacy. Of course, you should be comfortable with technology. Wala po kayong sarili nyong IT. Kayo po ang IT. Okay? Hindi nyo pwedeng i-cancel yung class nyo. Ay, nag-freeze yung computer ko, cancel ko class. Hindi po pwedeng ganon. Masisira ang credibility ninyo. Kahit po sa company, hindi nila ina-allow yun. Mapi-penalty po kayo. So, kailangan magaling kayo sa pag-handle ng tools like sa Zoom, yung screen sharing, how to save the chat, how to admit the students, ganon. Tapos, sa digital literacy, alam yung gagawin pag nag-freeze ang computer, restart, and then those kind of basic skills lang. Organizational and business, because we're talking about ESL freelancing. So first you have time management, organization, and financial management. Yung sa time management po, pinakamalaga to kasi lahat ng clients natin very punctual. Walang Filipino time. So medyo negative yung Filipino time. Pero pag sinabi po nilang 8 o'clock ang class, 8 o'clock. 8:01, pag nasa company po kayo, nag-enter kayo, example ng Zoom 8:01, may penalty na po kayo noon. Magrereklamo na si student. Minsan ang students papasok pa 5 minutes before ng time ninyo. So, and then, siyempre, pag freelancer ka, pag marami kang students, dapat ayos yung oras mo. Hindi pwedeng nakalimutan mo, ay, may klase pala ako every Monday, tapos nag-accept ako ng Monday ulit. Magugulo na yon. Masisira rin yung credibility mo. Tapos, teaching hours, you have to manage that 25 minutes, 50 minutes, ganon. Administrative task, dahil wala ka namang kasama, you're on your own, ikaw din gagawa ng Excel file mo, yung time schedule, ikaw rin magbibilang ng klase para mabayaran ka. Kasi pag hindi ka nagbilang, hindi ka babayaran. Sasabihin sa'yo ng estudyante mo, hindi ko alam, bayaran na pala. Ikaw rin magre-remind ng students mo para sa bayaran. Organization, yun nga, ikaw yung magtatrack ng students' progress, yung lesson plan, scheduling, madalas may cancellation, i-reschedule mo yon para may mabawi yung hindi ka nakapag-class. Yes, may dapat po may schedule ka, may alarm, gano'n lahat. Tapos dapat alam mo lahat ng students communication tool ninyo. Like in my case, may Japanese ako, may Chinese, may Israeli. So, iba-ibang messenger po 'yon. So, hindi ako pwedeng malito. Tapos, nakalista yung students name mo kasi nakakahiya pag tinawag mong ibang pangalan. Imagine kung sa'yo gawin yun, di ba? Tinawag mo siya, "Ay, good morning, Brian." Eh, Christine pala yung pangalan. Magugulat siya, "Bakit bakit Brian tawag sa'kin ni teacher?" Kasi hindi ka naglista, eh. So, gano'n. Tapos yun nga, yung sa payment, ikaw din in charge do'n. Ikaw magre-remind sa students mo, lalo na yung mga mothers, busy sila. 'Pag hindi ka naningil, may chance hindi ka babayaran. Pero magbabayad naman sila, yun nga lang mali-late. Nangyari daw yun kay Ma'am T. Or minsan 'pag pagod ka na, litong-lito ka sa students mo, naduling ka sa pangalan. And then financial management, yon yung invoice. Well, sa Koreans naman hindi sila nanghihingi ng invoice, yung ibang students wala. Kasi meron naman sila naman ang nagse-send sa'yo ng payment, eh. So, alam nila kung kailan sila nagbayad. Yung budgeting, I think this is more on personal kasi nga hindi siya stable. So, dapat alam mo kung kailan ka sa sweldo. So medyo tatantyahin mo, sa 15 magbabayad si ganito, sa 20th si ganito, para alam mo kung kailan ka may pera. Managing finances as a freelancer, gano'n. So, maybe you would ask, kumikita ba talaga ang ESL teaching? Yes po. Mas okay po 'to kaysa pumunta kayo ng opisina, I'm telling you. Lalo na kung kakaririn niyo po and you wanna be successful, um, well, we were talking about income. If you will work 8 hours, same with the office hours, and then you would have regular classes consistently in a month, mahina pong 30,000 per month. Tas nasa bahay ka lang po. Kaya nga ang mga kapitbahay ko tingin sa akin tambay kasi parang wala akong ginagawa. So gano'n po 'yun. Medyo easy lang siya compared po, pero hindi ko po kayo sinasabing mag-resign sa public school or private school, wala akong sinabing gano'n, Kung ikukumpara lang po when it comes to load of duties, responsibilities, stress, financial management, kaya ako nandito kasi 'di ba kinumpare ko 'pag public school teacher ako 25,000 per month, may kaltas, pamasahe ko pa, mga gano'n po. While basic lang ESL teacher 30,000, solo niyo po 'yon. So wala ng kaltas 'yun, wala pang hassle, walang after work na homework gano'n. So, sa'kin mas relax talaga. May loan pa raw si Ma'am Tin. Dito naman kung magaling po kayong humawak ng pera, um, kaya like in my case po, i-share ko lang din kasi we're talking about finances. Um, sa case ko po, meron akong agency, I'm a registered business owner, nakakuha po ako ng housing loan. So, puwede niyo rin pong gawin 'yun. Housing loan, so meron po akong bahay sa Batangas. So, though hindi po ako under ng company, business owner, gano'n. So, thank you po, Sir Brian. So, kailangan po magaling po kayo pagdating sa finances. Housing loan, pwede. Tapos kaya niyo rin po kumuha ng kotse, kaya po. Basta meron kayong ire-register niyo lang po yung trabaho niyo sa DTI or sa BIR para ma-approve kayo sa bank, gano'n. Or kung may kakilala kayo like sa'min, kung empleyado namin kayo, gusto niyong bigyan namin kayo ng ano, ng COE or yung, what you call this, yung payslip, gano'n po. Meron po akong employee namin na-approve siya, car loan Innova po yun, 28,000 per month. Ginawan ko po ng paraan yung kanyang payslip, na-approve po siya.
Wow.
So, gano'n. So, puwede yun, puwede po yun, napapakiusapan po yun. Yun, tapos, next, yung personal qualities, okay. Flexibility, like what I said earlier. So, lahat ng student may kanya-kanyang needs. Time zones. Dito yung maraming teachers nakaka-miss ng class. Pag Japan and Korea po, 1 hour earlier po sila. Chinese, same ng time natin. Israeli, medyo mahirap po yun kasi gabi na po sila. Pag European, magsisimula sila 5 p.m. Yun pa lang po yung umaga nila. Tapos usually 3 a.m., 4 a.m. 5 a.m. Yun yung 11 p.m. sa kanila. So, kailangan masipag ka pong magtanda nung time zone para wala kang ma-miss na class, gano'n. Meron din po akong estudyante nasa India, do'n una talaga nalito ako kasi 'pag sinabi nilang 6 PM, bibilangin ko pa. So, kaya nagtatanong ako sa estudyante na gamitin nila yung Korean time kasi Koreano naman sila, kasi nalito ako 'pag Indian. So, lagi kong chine-check yung conversion ng time. Tapos empathy, of course, students came to you because they need help. Hindi sila nandun para laitin natin, tawanan 'pag may mali, okay. And they need, sometimes sa mga students, eto lang maganda rin sa ESL teaching, nagiging friend mo yung students. Kasi magse-share sila ng personal nila even without asking, personal situations. So minsan nagiging, ano ka na rin, advisor, counselor, mga gano'n. So you have to show them emotional support, especially 'pag feeling nila, nahihirapan ako sa English, hindi ko na kaya. So yung kaninang video yung pinakita ko sa inyo, yun yung feeling ko more of ako. Like, "No, we can do this. I'll help you." So laging gano'n, "I will help you." So yun, parang superhero ka nila. And then professionalism, very important sa business. Not only ESL teaching, in all types of professions, business, you have to maintain professional attitude, punctuality, very important sa business po, reliability, credibility, and then proper conduct po. For 8 hours, how many students po? Ilang students ang ideal? 8, depende po sa rate ninyo po. 8 hours pag 25 minutes, 16 minutes po yun. So if you're earning like kahit po yun nga 100 pesos per hour, yun yung alam ko sa ibang companies. So 8 hours 100, naka 800 ka na po in a day. Tapos 'pag perfect attendance ka po, minsan may bonus pa yun. Tapos meron pang report, 'pag yung companies may report sila, 'pag kumpleto yung report may bonus po yun. Kaya more or less pagka binuo niyo po isang buwan, 25,000 to 30,000 ang mai-expect yung salary 'pag under po ng company. And then of course continuous learning. Of course you have to stay updated, especially pagka business po kayo, kailangan lagi kayong nagbabasa ng newspaper, current events, industry. Hindi porket nagsasalita ka ng English, dadaldal ka lang ng English, dapat may alam ka kasi ang students, bukod sa kids of course, most of the students din, business, corporate members. Like in my case, may mga CEO, directors, siyempre hindi puwedeng wala kang alam. Tatanungin ka nila like may mga accountant do'n, may English sila sa accountancy na hindi rin nila maintindihan. So tatanungin ka nila, "What do you mean by this?" So hindi naman puwedeng sabihin mo, "Hindi ko alam." Of course, you have to find a way. Kaya ka nga nandun, language assistant ka nga niya, eh. So, yun po. So, kailangan mo rin ng teaching methodologies. Like what I said, I started video call lang, walang masyadong galaw-galaw kasi Korean, eh, hindi sila magalaw. Pero nung nag-Chinese ako tsaka Japanese, hala kailangan mo ng maging active, kailangan mo ng maging jolly-jolly. So gano'n. Tapos may iba-iba pong, teaching methodologies like I said yung sa 5-1 Talk, TPR ang gamit nila, Total Physical Response. Meron din pong sinasabing Callan method, yung mabilis repeat lang ta's mabilisan po. So kailangan alam mo yung iba't ibang methods para hindi lang para sa estudyante mo, kung gusto mo lang po ng magkaroon ng edge, kung gusto mong magpapansin sa company na nagwo-work ka, 'pag nakita nila na may galing ka, 'di mapo-promote ka po, gano'n lang. Tsaka 'pag gusto kasi boring din 'pag pare-pareho yung ginagawa mo, kung gusto mong 'wag ma-bore sa ginagawa mo. And then feedback receptivity, so willingness to receive feedback from students and adopt teaching methods accordingly. 'Pag Koreans po, napaka-direkta nila mag-comment, pero hindi sa iyo, sa company. 'Pag sinabi nila, "Yung teacher ko boring." So, 'wag pong sasama ang loob ninyo. Ano lang po 'yun, trabaho, walang personalan. So, your job is to improve. Gano'n po 'yung gagawin natin. Kasi karapatan nilang mag-comment kasi pera po nila yung ginasta nila do'n sa klase. So, 'wag sasama ang loob 'pag umalis yung student kasi hindi ka effective na teacher, gano'n lang po. Sa umpisa medyo masakit, pero 'pag yung paulit-ulit masasanay ka rin
Tama po
siguro,
yun.
'di ba? Nasanay ka na sa pain. Anyway, let me move to networking. So, dahil ESL freelancing 'to, building relationships like we said yesterday, hanap po tayo ng community, makipag-collaborate sa mga teachers, makipag-friendship, and then pinakamahalaga, improve your relationship with the parents of your children and with your students. Bakit? Sa case ko po, ang naging strategy ko po, 100% word of mouth marketing. May students po ako, dumami lang sila ng dumami dahil recommendation. Wala po akong social media sites for now. Wala rin po akong portfolio. Word of mouth lang po. So yun, 'pag tinext ko yung student ko, "Ay ano, libre ako this month," automatic bibigyan niya ako ng student. Hindi naman madami, mga isa-isa, gano'n. Ta's gagalingan niyo po, ibi-build up niyo po yung relationship niyo sa kanila. Manganganak na lang po siya. And then community engagement, since I'm handling agency, so eto talaga kinailangan ko siya. That's why I'm part of this group. Kasi para makakuha po kayo ng connections. Hindi lang connections para magkaroon ng students. First, to gain knowledge, skills, and then to connect with people. Kasi I love collaboration. So, naghahanap ako ng mga mas magaling sa akin or at least makakapag-contribute sa knowledge ko. Kasi di man tayo pinakamagaling sa mundo. Laging maghahanap tayo ng makakatulong natin para mag-improve pa tayo or mas magaling sa craft natin. And then, sorry, this one, passion. Yeah. So we already know this. We have to love teaching. Kung hindi mo passion ng kids, kahit magaling ka mag-English yun, hindi nga. Kasi merong ibang kakilala ko nag-shift sila sa VA kasi hindi nila passion ng teaching. So, ganon. And then lifelong learning, like what I said. So you have to grow professionally and personally. So professionally, yun nga, aral ka lang ng aral. Marami namang YouTube. Meron yung Cambridge, Oxford. Nag-offer sila ng mga free trainings and seminars. And then, yun lang. Tapos, kung gusto niyo maging freelance ESL teacher, you have to learn also how to manage the business. Yun, kailangan mo matuto ng marketing. Social media marketing. Kailangan mo rin mag-edit ng video. I have a few friends na merong sarili nilang students, kina-craft nila yung classes nila, yung mga masasaya, pino-post nila sa social media. So by that, ise-send lang nila sa target student nila yung recorded class, tapos yun, magkaka-student na sila. Mas mabilis po yun, hindi nyo na kailangan mag-sample class. Kasi nakita na nila kung anong klase kang teacher through the video. So ganun yun. Marketing mahalaga na sa ESL freelance. And then, hold on po. Let's have yung creating engaging lessons and curriculum. Ito po, bakit po siya kailangan? Pag company po, hindi niyo na po kailangan gumawa ng textbooks. 100% po yon, like what I said. Pero pag freelance ka po, kailangan marami ka pong collections ng textbooks. Now, kung interested po kayo, Ma'am Tin and I have a lot of textbooks talaga. Pwede ko pong i-share yon sa inyo. Mag-message lang kayo, 100 plus yon, hindi ko na rin po mabilang. Bukod pa dun yung sarili naming gawa, ang dami po. So, yon. Pero just to give you an idea, first, you have to understand your ESL learner. Pagpasok po ng estudyante, i-check niyo kagad yung language proficiency. Beginner ba siya, intermediate? Hindi po tayo sa age-based ha. Hindi porket pag kids beginner automatically. Ini-interview po yon, may level test po kaming tinatawag. So doon niyo po dapat alam niyo rin po yung level. Pero tinuturo naman po sa companies yun or pwede niyo pong aralin yung CFAR levels and descriptions, language proficiency, and then learning styles. Magtatanong po kayo sa student. You would ask the student, gusto mo ba ng free talking? You want to focus more on grammar? Do you want to be corrected right away? Do you want to focus more on picture descriptions? So yun yung learning styles. So dapat naka-align yung materials nyo dun sa likes ng students. Cultural backgrounds, yun, magkakaiba po yun. Kapag Koreans, minsan, kahit simple lang, like may picture lang, tas may words. Japanese, they don't care much about the pictures. Pero pagka mga kids po, usually, for example, sa Koreans, pwede nyo pong maging topic, cultural backgrounds, yung kunwari yung weather, yung clothes. Ima-match nyo po yung clothes. Baka nagpakita kayo ng clothes, ang pinakita nyo, hanbok, Korean po yun, pero Japanese yung estudyante nyo. Kimono po yung papakita nyo. Tapos nagpakita kayo ng pictures, pinakita nyo sa Japanese student, Great Wall of China. Hindi naman nila alam yun. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng you have to understand your ESL learners para ma-match nyo po yung material nyo dun sa learners. Um, next po, set clear objectives, learning objectives. So, same with what we have learned before. So, you have first learner goals. Hindi naman po siya kailangang madami. Usually, isa nga lang yan eh. Sasabi lang sa'yo ng estudyante mo, kailangan ko lang makapasa ng TOEIC. Yun na po yung learning goals niya. Tapos tatanungin nyo na lang po specifically, anong score ang kailangan mo? Para nagkakaintindihan kayo, same track kayo. Clear and specific, that's what I meant. Anong score ang kailangan mo? Kunwari sinabi niya 500. Pag hindi niya na-meet yon by the end of your lesson, medyo sad yon. Pero pag na-meet niyo yon, di success. Ganun lang siya. Align with the curriculum. Pag sinabi niyang TOEIC or TOEIC, nagpe-prepare siya ng exam, English exam, siya pipili ka ng textbook na TOEIC exam. Ganun lang siya kasimple. Pag sinabi niyang, gagawa ko ng presentation sa business, so gagawa ka rin ng textbook para sa business. And then identify the goals at the beginning of the lesson. So during the interview, yung first meeting niyo, ito yung unang dinidiscuss ng teacher. Bakit gusto mong mag-aral ng English? Paulit-ulit yan. Bakit? Usually sasabihin lang nila sa'yo, wala, gusto ko lang kasi hindi naman ako nakapag-English sa opisina. Gusto kong maging fluent. Usually yun yung sasabihin nila. Gusto kong maging fluent sa English. So ngayon, tatanungin mo lang, paano maging fluent, identify the goals of the beginning of the lesson. So, i-explain mo sa student mo, yung textbook na napili mo or yung material, sabihin mo sa kanya, like, this lesson will help you learn 100 vocabulary words. Ganon siya ka-specific. Alam niya yung ine-expect niya doon sa plano ninyong dalawa. Or for example, in 3 months, mapapasa natin yung TOEIC exam. And then, of course, of all objectives, we have the SMART objectives, like it should be short, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So, especially sa mga Koreans, the parents, dapat in 6 months magaling na yung anak nila magsalita. They would check the progress. Napaka-strict nila pagdating sa progress. Hold on a sec. Mag-message lang po ako, wait kasi may class ako after, sorry. Okay. And then, sorry. Yun lang po yung sa learners objectives. Biblisan ko na lang po. Medyo late na po. So, another one, organize your curriculum. Whether it's a lesson plan, so dapat may sequencing. Siyempre, may lesson 1, lesson 2, up to the end. Thematic units, malinaw po. Lesson 1, for example, lesson 1, weather. Lesson 2, food. Lesson 3, for example, season, lesson 4, blah, 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 up to the end. Ganun po siya. Thematic po siya. Hindi yung lesson 1 lang, number 1, pero walang topic kasi nakakalito po yung kahit sa side ninyo. And okay. Next is develop engaging lesson plans. So first, ito na po yung actual lesson plan. You have to start with warm-up activities. Actually, yung greetings po sa ESL, warm-up na po yon. It could last 3 to 5 minutes depending po so kung ano yung connection nyo with the student. Introduction of the material. So for example, you're done with the 5 minutes of greeting, you would tell the student, okay, let's proceed to our lesson. Today's lesson is about clothes. And then interactive activities. Hindi po yung basa lang kayo ng basa, clothes. What is, like, what do you see in the picture? Pwede pong ganon. Mag-create po kayo, pwede kayo mag-add ng pictures, videos, or pwede kayo mag-ask ng engaging questions. Kunwari sabihin nyo, what do you think I'm wearing right now? Ganun lang. Depende po sa level ng students, yung activities. And then, meron po tayong, after that, of course, you have practice exercises. So when you create sentences, student, you demand practice. For example, sinabi nyo, I am wearing a red shirt. Ulitin po yun ni student. That's the practice exercises. And then meron pong yung student ang magre-read na part. So meron po pwede kayong mag-add ng dialogues, conversation, role-playing, ganun po yung sa practice exercises. Application, of course, at the end of the lesson, dapat i-encourage yung si student na magsalita siya ng English after the class. Kasi sa bagay, yun naman ang common problem sa mga non-English learners, wala silang opportunity. So paano niyo po gagawin yung application? Magtanong po kayo sa estudyante. Like tatanungin niyo siya, what are you wearing? So ganun, what is the color of apple? Yung mga ganun na po. Magpo-provide lang po kayo ng additional material, supplementary. And then feedback. Yung feedback po, nasa dulo po siya. Kasi ito po yung traditional. Usually nagbibigay tayo ng feedback sa end. Pero pag ESL teaching po, pwede kang magbigay ng corrections anytime. Depende kung ano yung personality ng student po at saka yung level. Tip ko lang po, pag advanced, ayaw nila ng correct ka ng correct. You give the corrections at the end, tapos i-summarize mo lang po. Pag kids po, required po kayong mag-correct immediately, tapos repetition. Ganun po pag kids. Okay, so wait po. Let's go next. Okay, ito po yun, yung in-explain ko. So, warm-up activity, tapos you set the tone, introduce new vocabulary, grammar. Hindi po siya kailangan maramihan agad. Usually, vocabulary, kahit 5 words lang. Ang grammar, simple lang po. Hindi po yung katulad sa school na i-explain mo si subject, verb, ganon. Hindi po. Depende po sa students. Pero may mga materials po na naka-print na naman siya. Kunwari, I is the subject, may mga ganun po. Pero hindi niyo po kailangan explain. Again, nakalimutan ko po, pinaka-importante po sa teaching, 80% po student speaking. Si student po ang dominant sa class, hindi po ang teacher ang dakdak. Actually, 20% lang po ang teacher na nagtotalk. So, yan. 80% student po, 20% si teacher. At ang tinutok lang ni teacher to give instructions, to ask questions, and give corrections. Kung grammar ang lesson niyo, explanation, find examples na madaling i-explain. Huwag pong i-complicate. Pero kung advanced po yung student nyo, yon, medyo hindi napapasa yung basta magaling ka lang mag-English. Kailangan may alam ka na talaga. Kasi may mga students na ganon. Tatanungin ka, like in my case, tatanungin, Divine, bakit hindi pwede yung consequence? Bakit sinabi mo consequential situation? Bakit hindi consequence situation? So, i-explain mo na kasi adjective yung katabi nung na, blah, 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 mga ganon. Tapos magtatanong, so kung hindi ko sasabihin consequential situation, ano yung ibang words? Yun na. So kailangan na medyo advanced na tayo. So yun lang po. Skip ko na lang po muna to. Total na-explain ko na naman. Okay, integrate language. So balance approach, design the lesson na nag-a-address sa lahat ng skills. Yung ginagawa po naming textbooks, medyo lahat na nandun. May listening, may speaking, may reading, may writing. Yung writing usually homework. Pero depende po ito sa estudyante. Baka isipin nyo, naku, hirap naman palang ESL teaching, daming ginagawa. Hindi po, minsan po talaga nagchat-chat lang kami. Ito parang parang formality kasi required siya ng company. Pero usually kapag nagdaldal na si estudyante, hayaan nyo lang po si student magdaldal. Kahit you don't go with the lesson plan. And then authentic materials, of course, pero hindi naman nasusunod to kasi pwede naman tayo, open resources naman. Pero pagka-company po, kunwari na-required kayong gumawa ng textbook sa company, mahalaga po yung copyright. So, yun, authentic materials. Okay? Pero lahat naman ng materials, like in my case, nire-recycle ko lang po. And then, assess and monitor progress, very important. Meron pong formative assessment, like what I said, level test. Meron din pong portfolio assessment. Like si student, pwede mo silang i-assign na magbigay ng essay. Ganun lang po. Or meron din, parang sa school lang din, mag-aano sila, gagawa ng journal. Depende po yun sa inyo at saka sa student. And then support differentiation. So, of course, differentiate instruction materials by using visual mix of visual aids, like what I said. Pwede pong audio files, pwede ring mga kinesthetic activities. So, basta may encourage yung students. Flexible grouping, inad ko lang po ito kasi pag group class, mas malaki po ang kitaan. Mabilis, kunwari 25 minutes, dalawa yung estudyante mo, didoble po yung kita. Pero dapat magaling ka mag-handle, mag-balance ng class with the students. Yun lang po. Tapos, and then, cultural awareness. So, yung content nyo po, dapat may naka-add doon na relevant sa culture nila. Bakit po? Kasi ang goal nila is ma-explain yung sitwasyon nila. Paano, syempre, dapat alam mo kung paano i-incorporate yung sitwasyon nila. Kunwari, sa South Korea versus North Korea, pwede mo siyang i-add, pero wag mong i-focus yung war. Parang ganon. Paano gumawa ng kimchi? So, Korean po yun. Hindi mo ituturo yung paggawa ng kimchi sa Japanese. And then cultural activities, katulad nung ginagawa namin sa presentation, ina-ask namin yung student. Yun yung part din ng assessment ko, presentation topic. I usually ask the student to present their favorite topic relevant sa culture. It could be, for example, yung katulad ng last student ko, paggawa ng sushi. So yun, doon ko lang siya in-assess kung kaya na ba niyang mag-present ng procedures ng paggawa ng sushi. Yun lang. Tapos pag nakita ng student, ay, na-explain ko paano gumawa ng sushi. From nothing to, a presenter. Di ba successful po yun? So yun yun. Kaya sila bumabalik-balik sa klase mo kasi nakikita nila yung achievements nila. And, hold on po. Continuous reflection and improvement, reflective practice. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa estudyante, kailangan na-feel po nila na meron po kayong binibigay na feedback. At dapat ma-realize nila na nag-improve po sila. Hindi lang siya bola na nag-improve ka kasi alam po nila yon. And then professional development. So, stay informed about, this is for the ESL teacher. So, you have to be informed about the latest teaching methodologies and attend workshops. Like I said, yung sa Cambridge po, tsaka sa Oxford, check nyo lang po sa websites. Meron po silang mga free webinars. Free lang po yun. Okay. So, to end my presentation po, or this webinar on my end, so one does not simply teach ESL. They should love teaching it. Like what we said last time, kung hindi po kayo confident, komportable sa ganitong klase ng trabaho, hindi po talaga siya para sa inyo. Pero kung curious ka, interesado ka, tapos sa tingin mo, komportable ka naman mag-English po at makihalubilo, then go nyo po ang ESL teaching. So may questions po tayo.
Yun. Napakahusay na Miss Divine. May questions po ba tayo? Yes.
May questions po or any interested po. Like I said last time po, kung interested po kayo maging ESL teacher, po kung anong
question po.
ano pong percentage ng clients ang adults? Sa companies po ba? Usually kasi po sa companies, ano lang siya, mga depende po, pero usually nasa around, kasi 70, mga 40, 30 to 40% po. Pero depende po, kasi katulad po ng BizMate, kung familiar po kayo, talagang business people lang ang kinukuha nila. Tsaka rare job po. Do you create content for Philippine? Hindi po. Kasi hindi po Filipino ang clients natin. Ang curriculum po, ang cultural content po, Korean, Chinese, depende po sa client nyo. Pwede po kayo mag-share about Filipino culture pag nag-ask po si student. May mga students po, parang tawag dito, curious po sila about the Philippines. So, isa pa po palang nakalimutan ko, I see this job as a Filipino representative. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa mga tinitrain kong teachers. Hindi ka lang ESL teacher. You represent Philippines. Kasi ikaw lang naman ang kaharap ng student eh. Wala silang idea about the Philippines mostly. Ikaw yung magre-represent. Ikaw mag-i-explain, ikaw mag-i-introduce po. So, halo-halo yung job mo as an ESL teacher. Promoter ka na, dancer ka pa, singer ka pa, actress ka pa, planner ka pa, manager ka pa, lahat.
Tourism ambassador.
Tourism ambassador, ganon. Basta wag lang parang yung i-date mo yung student. Pero meron namang iba na nakahanap ng true love dito. No, meron pong iba na nakahanap ng true love. Nakakahanap din ng true love. But as a professional, you have created I've never created po Filipino content. Puwera na lang kung except po sa topic ko, there was a case pala, I presented sample presentation po about myself. So dun lang, nabanggit ko lang yung Philippines.
Yes, ma'am.
Para lang may
Sorry,
guide. Yes po, ma'am.
Kasi the reason why I'm asking, because you do have a masteral and you create content for curriculum with other, culture. Maybe you can create a content for Philippine curriculum because we are needing. Yeah, my company.
Sure po. I see. Akala po ko po sa client po, Ma'am Aina.
Yeah.
Yes, sa Philippine po. Of course, pati yung Philippine Atlas po. Atlas bang tawag doon? Tinagalize ko po yun nung college ako. Ganun kalupit yung professor namin dati.
Sige, ma'am. Oh yeah, kasi we are needing the company where I am engaged now. We're needing content creators for for the content.
Thank you po, Ma'am Aina. Yes po, sure. Kaya naman po siyang gawa ng Akala ko po for the client. Sorry. Pag sa students po, yun po. Focus po sa client's culture. Thank you po, Ma'am Aina. May questions pa po?
Questions po? Question. Bago lang ba yun? Japanese students pa.
May Japanese students
Yes
ba?
po, yes po.
Meron daw.
May Japanese students po. Yes. Kung gusto niyo po ng Israeli,
Miss Aleli ang Japanese.
sure po, ma'am. Kung gusto niyo po ng Israeli, magsabi rin po kayo. Pwede ko po kayong i-recommend dun sa isang companies na Israeli po. Ang maganda sa schedule ng Israel is ganito sila magsisimula gabi hanggang 2 a.m. So kung gusto niyo po ng ganon, 2 to 3 a.m.
Napakabait po nila.
Wow, I teach Japanese kasi po. Okay po.
Yung client ko din po kasi Israel.
Mabait sila, tsaka madaldal, diba, Sir Brian?
True.
Japanese po, napaka-polite.
May
May
afam.
afam ba? Yes, ma'am. Marami po. Makakahanap nga ng true love here kung talagang kakaririn nyo. Lalo na pagka-charming po, yun, pwede. May mga ka-opisina po ako dati nakahanap ng true love sa ganito.
Wow.
Koreans.
Bow na bow.
Mga Koreans. Chinese, hindi ko po alam kung pumapatol sila sa Pinoy kasi di ba may sila. Chinese to Chinese lang po. Japanese, medyo conservative po. Hindi pumapatol sa foreigner masyado. Not unless face-to-face po kayo. Pero Koreans, yes, may pumapatol sa online.
Insightful ng mga discussion natin.
Yes.
Israeli din. May akong Israeli, medyo looking siya for partner. Parang
yan na.
Yung mga single.
Yung mga single dyan.
Yes po. May tanong pa po ba?
Any questions pa po?
Parang very clear kasi ang discussion ni Miss Divine.
Yeah, very good.
Amazing.
Thank you po. So, yun lang po. So, pwede na pong mag-close tayo. Sorry. Kasi may appointment ako ng 9:30.
Okay.
Sorry po. Sorry talaga.
Photo na lang po tayo, Miss Divine.
Okay po. Thank you so much. Kasi kailangan ko pong mag-change ng
lang po
ID.
ng camera, guys. Magpo-photo op lang po, man. Very quick.
Thank you
Kung
so
wala
much,
naman po,
Leader
nasa
Shab.
labas, okay lang
Thank
naman.
you, Divine. Thank you.
Thank you po.
We'll see each other next week
Yes po.
for another set of
Okay po. Yes po.
training, right?
Yes po. Thanks po, Ma'am Aina. Sure po. Kontakin niyo po ako sa Messenger. Ako po yung Daryl Di Matulak. Husband's name ko lang po yung ginagamit ko sa Facebook. And yung mga interested po mag-ESL, I'm encouraging you, kung medyo sa tingin niyo komplikado, hindi po talaga. Nagchat-chat lang po kami kapag ka nagka-class. Kwentuhan lang. Pinaka-importante po, you build rapport with the student. Ganun po. And then you don't have to be extra beautiful. Basta smiling face, friendly po, okay? Yung sa age, depende rin po sa students. Pero pag may aging na po tayo, like me, I'm aging, they're expecting you to be smarter, knowledgeable po. Yun lang. Pag medyo bata, yun, in-expect lang nila cute ka. So, hindi, joke lang po. Pero yun po. Pero masarap po maging ESL teacher. I'm telling you.
Pwede na po ba tayo
So,
sa
masaya po
picture?
siya. Okay na po,
Yes.
sir.
1, 2, 3 po. Wait lang po ha. Yaw. Isa pa po. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Ayan. Thank you
Okay
po.
po. Thank
Salamat
you
po
so
sa lahat.
much po sa
Yes,
lahat.
thank you
Ingat po
po.
kayo lahat. Next week po ulit, may seminar po tayo next week,
Oo
right?
nga po.
Oh,
Thank you so
next week
much.
po
At marami
ulit.
pong
Yes po.
takeaways for tonight's webinar.
Yes.
Miss
Yes
Steven. Ang
po.
dami ko rin natutunan.
Thank you, everyone. Oh,
Thank you po. Thank you po.
mag-ESL ka na din.
Mag-leave na po ako. Sorry po.
GSL na rin
Thank
po
you.
ako.
Ba-
Try ko mag-ESL.
Sige po. Mag-leave po muna ako. Bye-bye po. Thank you po sa lahat.
Sige po. Thank you,
Bye,
Miss Pride.
teacher. Bye-bye po.